What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what hypervision filters I personally use and how to even use all the new features in hypervision, because I've noticed not many people actually know what the update is and what's part of it, because even on BullX's Twitter, you would see that they don't really go into depth on what it is. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. Now, just to show you that this shit works, like if you are in my Telegram, you would see that yesterday we literally hit a 50x with JOYA, where I literally called it at 11.2k, or in fact it was a 64x, and as you can see, loads of members were getting results as well, and I think it even touched 1 mil, so it was probably more than a 64x, almost 100x. Now, let me drill something into your head before we get into this, right? First things first, when you go onto this hypervision page or even neovision, right, you want to understand that it's basically 3 different pages in one, right? Don't listen to what people say where they say, oh, don't listen to new creations or don't look at about to graduate, focus on graduate. Like, no, that's bullshit. You can use every single one. But the thing is, you need to treat them as separate systems. Every little row of coins has its own purpose. So new creations has its own purpose. About to graduate has its own purpose, and graduate has its own purpose, right? And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. Now, when you listen to these other people where they say, oh, only get into coins that are going to migrate or that have migrated, it's like, yeah, but what about all those people that are getting in at 10K, 20K, 30K market cap and are managing to turn like $50 into $5,000? Do you not want to be a part of that? Of course you do. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So let me go through exactly what the purpose is for each and every single one. So first of all, the new features that are part of hypervision are a few things. So as you can see, on graduated, you'll see this little crown. And usually when you hover over these things, it will show you stuff. And for me, for some reason, it doesn't work. It just shows me a question mark. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not working. But basically, this is where you can see how many coins have migrated that the dev has created. Now, you can take this as a red flag or a green flag, depending on what the number is. So as you can see, this person has migrated 4 tokens. Now, this can tell you one of 2 things. One is that, okay, this person just keeps launching tokens and, he's basically scamming people, rugging people, just trying to find what works and what doesn't. Or you can look at it from a different perspective where it's like, oh, this guy has managed to crack the code on how to migrate 4 tokens. And as you can see, literally on the token you're on right now, well, it's gone. Oh, no, it's not. It's here. It's on 520K. So not only can you trade this token that he's just launched, but you can also follow this wallet to see if they launch any other new tokens, because okay, this person has a skill in migrating coins. So that if he migrates something in future, okay, cool, this dev probably is going to migrate another coin. Let me get into it early. And then you can get into it pretty low. And I think that's why a lot of people got into this token, because they saw, oh, this dev actually migrated 3 tokens in the past. This one surely will migrate. And it went all the way up to like 1.7 mil. All right. So take that on board. That crown is how many coins have migrated. Another feature is the X feature, where you can actually see previous usernames. Now, again, as I said, when you usually hover over it, it will show you exactly what you need to see. So for example, it will show you the 11 usernames that were changed, but for some reason it's not working on my end. But that's another new feature. Now, you can basically see all the new features or all the things that you can customize by going to here, customize. These are the ones that I keep on, right? I don't know what enable tooltip is. It doesn't change anything when I toggle it off or on. And total fee paid is irrelevant to me. But I do assure you that every single other thing is relevant. And I'm talking top holders, I'm talking what dev is holding, insiders, snipers, so on and so forth. Now, I'll break that down really quickly, what everything means in case you don't know. So this is top holders, 15% top 10 holders. That's how much they hold in total. This is how much the dev has sold, so 7%. This is the insiders, and this is snipers. These are the holders. These are the holders that are using a familiar bot, so like Trojan or BonkBot or whatever you want to call it, BullX, etc., etc. Volume, and then market cap, right? These are all things you need to take into account, because they will lead you to whether you're making the right decision or not, which I'm going to go over in this video, by the way, to show you exactly how you can make the right decisions. Now, for new creations, these are the filters that I have. So Dev holding max 10%. If Dev is holding any more than 10%, it makes me question, why are they holding more than 10%? Are they going to distribute it across multiple wallets? So you just want to be safe from the get-go and make sure Dev is holding max 10%. Now you're probably wondering, isn't 10% quite high? Yes, it is. But then again, if a Dev is holding 10% and they distribute it, that's pretty normal, right? We see devs do this all the time, and it doesn't come to my surprise. And you don't want to narrow this section too small, because then you're going to miss some key runners, okay? Especially when it's at a low market cap, it's pretty easy for a dev to accidentally hold too much. Inside a wallet supply, I would put this at max 30%. Again, this sort of limits you getting into a coin where most of the supply is being held by insiders. Market cap, I would put it at minimum $14,000. The reason being is because one is you don't want anything below $10,000, because it's probably died out or it's probably not moving at all. Two is if it's at $14,000 or above, clearly it's got some believers in it. It's got people who are holding onto that token because they believe it's going to do something. Otherwise, they would have sold, right? It's not actually that easy to get a Pump.Fun token to $14,000 on your own or with a couple of people, right? That's why I say $14,000. But not only that, if you get into a token that's at $15,000, you're only at risk of losing, let's say, like maximum 66% or 70%. And by then, you probably would have sold it anyway. But it minimizes your risk rather than putting this at like 30K or 40K, where if it drops all the way to 5K market cap, then you've lost like 90%, 95% of your whole bag. Okay, and last but not least, token age max 10 minutes. Now you're probably realizing like this is pretty simple. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes I will change these around to play around, and I'll explain a bit about that later on and how you can actually decide what to play around with. But the reason I keep this simple is because I'm trying to find key potential runners that are in line with the current market, right? And if you like narrow it down too much, you might miss it, and it can cost you a fortune. You don't want to. But there's a caveat to that, right? Although we don't narrow it down, we obviously want to be cautious as to what's being put out here. So we're not going to be stupid and get into every single token here just because it's within our filters. We're obviously going to be a bit more diligent on what we're planning to get into, okay? That's the caveat. Whereas when you get onto these two, about to graduate and graduated, you can be a bit more lenient on analysis, obviously not too much, but it's because, okay, if this many people trust it for it to go to about to graduate and graduated, then surely that's a good sign, and then you can start to analyze, right? That's the sort of mentality behind it. Now, on to the next. So about to graduate, if you go into filters, you'll see that now the key differences are just the fact that I've added minimum holders. Because what I don't want is the dev to buy most of the supply in order for it to migrate, and there's only like 10 holders, right? Because it's going to rug. So here, the only thing I've changed is holders. But again, you see how there's a purpose for the new creations and a purpose for about to graduate. Now, I'm trying not to get rugged, and I'm trying to get into trustworthy tokens that have belief from a load of other holders. And the way you do that is by adding this. Now, another thing you might want to add here, but I don't add it here, I add it in the next one, is bot users, right? The reason why you want to use bot users is it's more likely to have users that are actual normal traders rather than insiders or potential insiders. It just prevents you. So for example, you can look at Jail Baron. There's 105 holders, but only 7 use, Trojan or Bonkbot or BullX. That's a bit weird. Like, what are the rest using, right? It should be a high number. Like, it should be a high percent. So for example, this one, 0, as you can see, 164 of the 327 actually use bots. That's a normal number. This one, for example, 161, 91 out of 161 use a bot. That's normal. This is not normal, right? So you want to stay away from that. So to be fair, if you want, you can add bot users as well. I wouldn't put this too high though, just because again, you don't want to narrow it too low. But let's just say 30. Now that will take away a couple of coins, and as you can see, it's already limited it to about 4 tokens. And this is what you want, because the more you move to the right, the more narrow you want it to become, because that will allow you to see the runners, the good tokens, okay? And it's like you're going from high risk to medium risk to low risk. That's what you're looking at. Well, in fact, even here it's a bit more high risk. I would say these are sort of the lowest risk, because you're getting in pretty low, but you have a lot of upside potential because it hasn't even migrated yet. And usually when a token migrates, as you can see with this token, it usually flies. Okay. Now, that leads me on to the last one. And as you can see, the filter numbers 4, 5, and 7. The more we move to the right, the more filters we have. So with the last one, you can see that I've got dev holding 10% max, holders 100, insider wallets 30, bot users minimum 50. And to be fair, I do play around with these two numbers, especially because by the time it's graduated, there should be a lot more holders. But again, I don't want to spread myself too narrow. Sorry, I don't want to narrow myself too much. Then I add volume, right? Now here, I'm looking for at least $50,000 in volume. The reason being is I don't want a coin that graduated by chance, right? I don't want a coin that just about graduated and then it's going to die out. The way you avoid that is by making sure there's enough volume in the token for it to continue running and continue sending to new highs, right? Which leads me on to the next one, which is market cap, right? I want at least $100,000 market cap. The reason being is because coins migrate around like 70,000. It's like, I don't want a coin, although like it will give me a lot more upside potential. I don't want a coin that's dropped after migration. I want a coin that has held up on its volume and on its momentum and gone above $100,000. If it dips after that, then I can look for potential reversal and so on and so forth. But I don't want a token that went above 100, didn't even manage to go above 100. When it goes above 100, then I can consider getting into it. And that's exactly why I do this. And then for token age, and this is probably the reason as to why this is not empty, is I leave it at 300, which is about 5 hours. The reason being is because it just allows me to still see coins that have maybe launched 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago that are maybe on a dip and are yet to run. Because this is the thing: if you narrow yourself to like if you do like 1,200, right, 20 hours, there's a long list. Like, okay, well, this isn't too long, but there's going to be a long list at times, and you don't want that. It's too overwhelming. And if you narrow it down too small, there's only going to be 1 or 2 coins, and you might miss potential reversal. So what I like to do is 300 minutes. And then, as you can see, it's similar. Anyway, like you'll get like 4 to 6 coins every now and then you can obviously go into them. Now, back to the features. Now, in case you're wondering what's left inside this video, what I'll do is I'll run through a quick demo on what I would do if going into any of these tokens. And then obviously I'm going to show you what sort of features are left over. So another feature, as you can see on the bottom left, is Twitter tracker. So I don't know if you guys use Twitter tracker, but I personally use the pro version of Twitter, which you can actually use a Twitter tracker where it basically splits the feed into like 4 different sections, and you can have lists of each type of accounts that you're looking to follow. So for example, whether it's colds, whether it's good traders, so on and so forth, celebrities, etc. But here you can actually see what tweets are coming out from certain individuals, right? So Elon Musk, people who are influential in the space, etc., etc. Now, another feature that they've released, well, in fact, a couple more features, is one is instant trade, right? Instant trade is, in case you guys don't know, there was a similar bot that used it, which was Nova Click, where you basically have this floating around, and it's just easy where you can just like click one and it'll buy instantly, right? Or click 0.5 and buy instantly, sell 75%. It just makes it a lot quicker. Obviously, you can predetermine the presets beforehand just by clicking the settings. This is a demo account that I use for videos, but I don't have them set. But like, for example, if it's a coin that's extremely volatile, you might have a preset with higher fees, higher slippage, etc., etc. Okay. Now, another feature, and I really like this, especially if you are really into your analysis, is these 2 arrows here, where if you pull it out, you'll be able to see the transactions in real time. Now, this is especially valuable for a low market cap coin because you'll be able to see like big buys, small buys, whatever you want to see, basically. Right. So, for example, if I go into here, I can put minimum 1K buys, and it will show me only the minimum 1K buys. It'll show me at what market cap. It will show me the age. And the reason why I like this so much is because I noticed that with BullX, it was getting quite annoying where I would want to look at the chart. I want to look at the buys and sells at the same time, but I'd have to like scroll down, and I'd always have to go to this section here in order for me, this section here in order for me to scroll down. And like, as you can see, like it's a bit annoying because I need to make sure I'm on this little section here. Otherwise it won't scroll down. That's because I'm using a trackpad, right? But yeah, that's another feature. And last but not least is the Snipe feature. So as you can see, this token is actually migrating, right? And as you can see, I can literally click on Snipe. If I click on Snipe, it'll put Snipe buy or Snipe sell. So whether you're inside the coin already or whether you want to get inside a token. So if you're in the token already and you want to snipe sell, so you want to get out as soon as it bonds, then you can do that, right? It'll get you in as soon as it possibly can after it bonds. And then snipe buy is as soon as it migrates, again, it will get you in, right? So if we look at this token here, a matter of fact, I actually like this token after seeing that holder distribution, but we'll see what happens with this. I haven't even looked at the socials or anything. But like, as you can see, 485 holders. Yeah, like it is flying. Like this is something I'd probably get into once I look into like the X and stuff. But as you can see, I'd go onto the X, not many followers, but seems to be creating some sort of new narrative, right? Like a countdown or something. But like just like that, we even saw this earlier in the video when I was talking about holder distribution. It must have been around like here. And now, if you look at it, it's gone up like 370%, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like when you use these filters, it filters out the gold gems, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be some coins that don't actually run. Like there's going to be some coins that aren't actually valid. They just fit into these filters. They happen to fit into these filters. But again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase your probability of catching the coins that are most likely going to run. And that's how you see people time and time again hitting these home runs. It's not by chance. It's because they know what they're doing. They know the filters that they're using. And I'm telling you, these are the filters that I've used in order to achieve results like this. And this is exactly how you can use them too. If you like this video, I appreciate if you can like, subscribe, and it will be beneficial for you as well because you can actually tell the YouTube algorithm to show you more videos like this. And last but not least, if you want to see what filters I use whenever I change them, I will be announcing them every single time in my Telegram channel, which is in the description. It's completely free. So join that. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care.